Hi guys, welcome back to Enough is Enough. Today we're going to be taking a look at Lesion. He's a brand new operator to be released under the Hong Kong CTU under Operation Blood Orchid. We're going to be showing you all about his gun and we're going to be taking you through his gadgets and how best to use them. All this coming right up. Okay, so jumping right into it. Lesion is also known as Lesion. Not sure if I'm butchering that pronunciation or not. His nickname is obviously Lesion, and he comes out of Junk Bay in Hong Kong. Now, his traps are, or his gadget should I say, is quite interesting. It's actually a trap. And this is a trap that its main kind of feature is that it goes totally, well, almost totally invisible when it's thrown down on the floor. Very similar to the way that an echo drone is, sort of got that invisibility cloak effect onto it. Lesion is the same. So this gadget is actually called a GU mine or a GU mine, and it's basically a cloaked toxic mine that injects a compound which injures opponents and limits their speed. So basically what you're going to get is you're going to be not able to sprint, and you're going to take a little bit of damage over time until you actually take the time to stop what you're doing and actually go through an animation to pull out the needle, as it were. So looking onto Lesion's gun, he gets the T5 SMG. This is a 9mm lightweight submachine gun, and it's got a reasonably high rate of fire. I'm not overly keen on the gun so far. I think that it could just do with a little bit more fire rate. It's very similar to the Vector that Mira uses, but it's just not quite. It doesn't really seem to pack that punch, and I think in one of the clips here you'll be able to see that. But it feels okay. I just think it needs a little bit of a tweak to it just to make it that little bit better. But the recoil is quite easily manageable, and it's quite predictable as well, so that makes it fairly easy to use. You can see there what I mean about getting that kill with the gun. It just seems to take quite a lot of bullets. Out of the 31 that you get in the magazine, it just seems to take quite a lot to be able to, to get that kill at that sort of range, and that really isn't a long distance. So you can see that he gets the option of impact grenades or a deployable shield, and I'm running his gun with a holographic, a muzzle brake, and there is no option for a vertical grip, and that really should tell you all you need to know with Lesion. His gun is, the recoil is relatively easy to control. You're going to see it here down in Hereford Base, so do the standard recoil sort of test, and you can see there that it pretty much just goes straight up. So you're going to see me do burst fire onto the wall there, and you can see there that that's pretty accurate, and you'd be really happy with that. Now I'm going to open it up onto full automatic again and just try and control the recoil myself at a bit of a distance, and you can see there that the recoil is nearly all up and down with very, very little side to side. And I'm going to put it into burst fire again and just try and fire it as quick as I can whilst maintaining recoil. And I think you can agree that there's not really much in it between the burst fire and controlling it yourself. I think the recoil on the gun is great, and that's one of Legion's strong points. So you're going to see us now moving on to do a little bit of testing. I've got Ace of Pyrite with me, and I'm going to throw a Lesion mine at the bottom of the stairs down in Hereford Base, and you can see there that I pretty much can't see that mine other than the little logo that's sort of indicating me that that's where I've thrown one. You're going to see Ace is going to run down the stairs in just a second, and he's going to try and sort of skirt past the Lesion mine without actually triggering it. And this is really interesting, and it's something to certainly take note of and sort of think about this when you're placing these mines. I think you can see the ping on the screen there, 2 meters away, so roughly 2 meters from the center of the mine to the wall. These have pretty much got to be stood right on top of for them to detonate. You can see there I placed one in a smaller doorway. Now obviously a smaller doorway, you've not really got much of an option to sort of avoid that mine. That's the animation that you can see when the enemy has to stop what they're doing to pull it out to avoid the damage. And you're just seeing it there from Ace's perspective. And you can see the little timer down on the bottom, which is sort of telling you when you're next going to get damaged by the mine. So running over here, you can see that it doesn't actually stick to anything. This is something that's quite interesting because It's not something that you can sort of stick to a wall and get creative with. It really is just going to land wherever you throw it, and there is a little bit of roll in that as well, so you almost got to account for that when you're throwing it towards things, that it will roll just a little bit. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see me place a couple of the mines downstairs. There's nothing really stopping you from placing these fairly close to each other. They can be placed as close or as far apart as you like. There's no real limit. Like I said, the only limit is that you only get 7 in a game, and they are going to be given at sort of 35-second intervals. So you start with 1, and then the time starts, and by the end of the prep phase you'll have 1 more that you can use. So you can see here that I'm going to start placing the mines around in different locations over the map, and this is something that you want to think about. You want to really think about your route and where you're going to be placing these things, because like I said, you want to be hitting the high traffic areas. You want to be hitting areas that people are actually going to get stung by these, and by having a couple of them out there, you can get a good idea on which sort of direction the enemy is going to be approaching from, because like I said earlier, the indicators on the screen will disappear and you'll get an audio cue as well when they get detonated. So you can see there that Ace just took 2 in quite quick succession. We've got a little POV from his point of view for that, and you can see there that it's hitting him for decent damage every time. I believe it's around 10, and you can see there that it really does make you want to stop and take it out, because your screen gets fogged up a little bit and you can't really see what's going on. So you can see here how you can use one of the mines to sort of know where someone is. I'm kind of keeping an eye on that one in Garage. This is obviously in a custom game, so I know that he's going to be there, but I get the audio cue, I see the mine disappear, and I can be straight on it. So that animation of taking it out actually does last for a couple of seconds, and as long as you're not too far away, you can take advantage of that and kind of get on top of it quite quickly and see if you can get there and actually get the kill. Now you can see there that with the hostage, Ace ran over multiple mines, and it doesn't matter how many you run through, when you come to do the animation you only ever have to take 1 out. So that could be something worth bearing in mind. If you know there's 2 on the ground, then it might be worth running through them both, taking it, and then spending the time to just take 1 out instead of kind of getting caught by one, take it out, get caught by another, take it out. Just something to consider when you're playing against a Lesion, if you will. Obviously you don't want to be getting yourself in the way of other operators such as Frost or Jaegers that maybe want to place things down, but you still want to place them down in places that are going to be high traffic and places that are going to get you some results. Of course, the big question that we've got to ask ourselves about Lesion is he worth the 22,500 renown that it's going to cost non-season pass holders to buy? If I'm being totally honest, I think not. I wouldn't buy him first if I didn't have the season pass. I think there's a couple of better operators out there, and we're going to be covering those in a little bit more depth in the videos to come. And that's all I've got to say really about the operator. Obviously he's brand new, so I've put this together as quickly as I can, and I'm sure that there's some things that I maybe have missed or not made as much of a fuss about as I should have done. If there's anything you think that I could have added and any sort of hints and tips that you've picked up so far, please, I'd love to hear them. We're going to close the game out with a bit of footage now, playing again on Hereford base. I'm not sure what it is. I've not actually managed to play on Theme Park yet. I've been getting a lot of other maps and stuff like that, but I think that this footage here kind of shows the real role that Lesion's meant for. He's really that anchor in the OBJ, and he goes out early round and in the prep phase, throws out a couple of mines, comes back to the objective and tries to play that anchor role, and then just sort of throwing them out as and when he gets them to sort of deny entry in those later rounds. And I really think that's how you should be playing him as a defender. I'm going to let the gameplay run out here and just going to switch the volume over to that, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like. If you've not already, please hit subscribe, and we've got loads more Operation Blood Orchid content coming your way.
One op 4 remaining. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.